Let us begin by exploring the suggestions given based upon the 2009 influenza pandemic, specifically on the role of the media.
Thank you very much, Up. Thanks for the invitation. And I was asked to tell you about my experiences being the crisis manager, the flu commissioner for Belgium, and highlighting the communication aspects there. These are some of my conflicts of interest over the past 20 years, I guess. And then you have one opportunity to do it right. I mean, day one is so important. In day one, you start your communication with the press, with the people, and you have to do it right. I mean, you have to go for one voice, one message.
One voice, one message. How was it that the script played itself out during the spread of COVID-19, specifically with the rollout of the vaccine?
Pfizer now says its vaccine is 95% effective and safe. The data just days away from being submitted to the FDA.
The FDA assessment showed that the vaccine was around 95% effective.
There is some good news from Pfizer tonight. They're now reporting their vaccine is even more effective than first thought. Final results showing their vaccine 95% effective.
It works incredibly well, 95%, maybe even more than that. It works incredibly well.
You know, in the clinical trials, when they did it in Pfizer and Moderna, it was 95%. Both of them, I think, were 95% effective at preventing a subsequent infection.
Moderna announcing its vaccine is nearly 95% effective.
Sputnik vaccine are said to be up to 95% effective. That's around the same figure we've heard from the candidates from Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca.
Pfizer says the vaccine has now shown to be 95% effective.
95% effective.
It's 95% effective.
It's almost 95% effective.
95% effective in its final analysis.
95%. Sounds great, doesn't it? But what are the real risk reductions even after excluding several groups from the trials? About 1%. For Pfizer, you needed to vaccinate 141 people to prevent one from getting COVID. All in all, 95% was nothing more than a marketing ploy to trigger vaccine acceptance.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Making a difference.
By Pfizer. CNN Tonight. Early Start. Brought to you by Friday Pfizer. Night on Aaron Pfizer. Out front.
This week
brought to you by
Pfizer.
Brought to you by
Pfizer.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
The Royal Wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
To understand how even in the local Utah media, messaging about the vaccine completely exited the realm of science and entered the realm of marketing, we can look at the research done locally by Intermountain as well as Envision Utah. They sought to find out ways to convince Utahns to take the vaccine by doing a massive survey. And what did the survey show? Based on the survey, they filtered out words and phrases that had positive associations in order to sculpt the right message to influence the maximum number of people. By creating a positive values map like this, the final large-scale messaging was put together. This mirrors exactly the messaging that was used on a large scale to target those in Utah who did not plan to get the vaccine.
Vaccinations and boosters have been shown to reduce hospitalizations and deaths. They are the most important thing you can do to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Vaccines work.
Important figures in the community and their trustworthiness in the population was evaluated in order to wield the maximum influence on Utahns. Individuals like Angela Dunn, Mark Harrison, and Russell Nelson were all deemed to have a high value in the community. Based on this knowledge of influencing Utah, the vaccination program surged ahead.
So what about engaging the influences of this day, like the entertainment industry?
That has been tried to a certain extent, also in 2009. I mean, you saw Barack Obama being vaccinated. We do that every year in the hospital. In the hospital, the director and the vice director, in their underwear, are vaccinated. Yeah? That has a huge impact. So influencers are important, but you need the right influencers.
I'm at the Utah Public Health Laboratory, and I got my first dose of the COVID vaccine. It is so important for people who can get the vaccine to get it so that we protect the most vulnerable people in our society and stop this pandemic.
Here are the asks for you. The asks are for you to stamp out disinformation. The ask for you to personally get vaccinated and encourage your friends to do so.
Mike Condini, was kind of like picture day, only with a sting at the end of it. The First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, who are 70 and older, all got together today for their shots. President Russell M. Nelson, well, he's 96, well above the 70-year-old threshold, also a former heart surgeon. His wife, Wendy, also received her shot. President Nelson tweeted out today, reading in part, "Wendy and I were vaccinated today against COVID-19. We have prayed for this literal godsend."
It was not too long after that that a religious leader in this woman's religion came out and called the vaccine a godsend. So she told me that they were going to go get the booster, that she was going to put faith over fear. She took her husband in to get the booster. He said he wanted to get it first. They didn't want to get it together because she was afraid if they had a reaction, she wouldn't be able to care for him again. Within 3 days of his booster, he was non-responsive. I ended up being his hospice nurse at that point rather than his home health nurse, and he passed away within a week.